when the doctor's visit meant a long wait and a trip to office, well, that is changing rapidly. This is because of telemedicine. But how does it start and where it is headed? In this video, I'm going to discuss with Tarun, who is head of engineering at Mindbowser and has done various projects in healthcare. So stay tuned till the end and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today's topic is all about telemedicine one-on-one. So we'll dive deep into how what is telemedicine and things around it. So what initially drove telemedicine this much?
Okay. So current the growth is because of mostly with the technology, like what kind of technology has evolved, right? But it is not new. Telemedicine is has been there for maybe you can more than a decade or maybe 2 decades, or we can say like since the era of like since the inception of internet and then the video call and all those things have been started. So then it started doing like people in different way used to do this telemedicine thing, right? But recently, or we should say like maybe before or after COVID, like there was a lot of boom and requirement as well, and technology advancements happening. A lot of like there are a lot of technologies coming in, lot of in many ways. Like you can see like there are internet accessible to almost many people. Like very good percentage of people have access to internet. Plus mobile has been there all everywhere, like in different forms, like call it mobile phone or watches or a lot of things are there. So these are the main reason that it is evolving, and there is a need as well, like because you need to cover a lot of area, like some rural area or undeserved places are there, like so those should be covered. So that immediate help can be telemedicine only. Like you cannot go and like have infra at every places. The first thing could be the telemedicine is there. So that is the requirement. You wanted to cover a lot of geographical area which are very remote, which are not accessible. Like we don't have basic necessity of any infrastructure like hospital infra or anything. So that's what the need of it, right? It was required then. Then again, there are other points, like there has been raise in the cost of healthcare, especially in US. Like US is the most, I think, most costly in terms of healthcare. All those things. So that was also a reason that it kind of it was required. So somewhere it was required to have this.
So how has technology for telemedicine has evolved?
Okay. So initially it used to be like mostly on video conferencing, but recently you see that a lot of advancements are happening. Like for example, there is RPM, remote patient monitoring. Then there are AI has come into the picture. Then there are EHRs. You can see like EHR also plays a big role in those things. So this technology advancement usage, like many people are adopting all this thing. Like initially it used to happen that people were not very much familiar with the technology, or they did not feel comfortable about using it, right? But since we have gone more into technology and we are being used to all this, so that's how it is getting the traction and everything happening, and it is needed as well.
Yeah.
And again, like there is one more reason again which I already mentioned, that like now everybody access to a smartphone, and there are like internet access, everybody is available. So it's a, I think one of the great use of mobile plus internet is that you can have telemedicine everywhere available, like almost anywhere available.
So has there any shift in the public perception of telemedicine?
Yeah, definitely. Since the COVID, like again, in COVID, almost everyone experienced that how it should be, how important it is, right? So it has helped in many ways. Like it has like reduce your waiting time. You don't have to go to the hospital all the time. You can have some basic consultation done on the video conferencing itself. So that is there, and again, it has reduced the risk of getting affected with any viruses or any kind of such things. Because if you go to hospital, there may be some risk, and not everybody is comfortable there. Going visiting the hospital or clinic. So that's how it is, like again, helping there as well.
So we talked about how people are not some people are not comfortable going in person. So like of course telemedicine has been a boon, but can it replace in person visit?
Obviously, that cannot happen. That should not happen for sure, because there are few things that you have to be in like in present with the doctor and all those things. So that definitely should not be replaced. Cannot be replaced for, I think, for a very long time. It should not be replaced, but it is helping in many ways. Like again, you as a patient and both physician or provider, everybody has like they can schedule it anytime, like whenever they feel like okay, and it can be a urgency basis as well. It saves a lot of time for both. Like you don't have to wait, you don't have to arrange a lot of things there. Like for example, as a doctor, if someone try to connect with me emergency, so I don't have to be in the hospital all the time. I can be at my home, at my whatever area I'm in, and I can have a consultation with it. So this kind of like comfortable or convenience is provided to both the parties, so it is helping everyone, right? And again, there are a lot of data can be exchanged, like this RPM is there, you can, and people are using a lot of mobile devices like watches and all those things, so that can be tracked via RPM and other such technologies, so it is helping in most of the way only, like.
So can you elaborate some key benefits that are some key benefits for patients, stakeholders?
So yeah, there could be many. Like for example, first thing is already we discussed that about the time. So it is saving time for both. Like you have to spend less time in travel. Maybe you can say travel cost can be reduced in some way. Like you don't have to set up all the infra. You have to visit at hospital. Transportation can be saved. That thing. Plus the main advantage apart these are like few basic things, but there are like main advantage. Like you as a patient, you have access to a lot of healthcare services, right? In person you may not go to different places for different kind of service, but remotely like you can almost access everything almost, right? So that's the biggest advantage we have. And then for provider, like they can access data of their patient remotely, like RPM is there. So like you want to track something, or it can help mostly in like follow up visit. Like for example, first time the doctor, like the patient has to visit to a doctor, right? But maybe for later, for follow up visit, it can be reduced. So that kind of, again, the time saving, lot of things are being saved there as well. Plus it can help in like as I mentioned about the RPM. So like for example, there are like chronic disease management we want to do, so in that case it can be tracked remotely, right? It can be tracked remotely. Basically it can help in all those like scenarios where it is not always like convinced, like always not amenable to go to that individual patient or patient to come to doctor. So it can be helpful at all this, like in all the scenarios, like.
Okay, so we can access doctor anytime, anywhere,
Yes.
and we can access the data anytime, anywhere,
Yes.
and we can track data as well through
Correct.
telemedicine. So
Correct.
these are
Correct.
more major three
Yes. Yes.
benefits of using telemedicine.
So again, like you mentioned a good point about you can track the data. So you if your data you and based on just for example there is AI as well, right? So with using the AI you can have this like, okay, I'm getting all this data, but AI can predict like what may happen to this particular, or even as a doctor or as a provider I can see like, okay, this is the data, how should I treat the next one, or what should I be alert about it in very much advance. So these kind of things are beneficial for both the parties, right?
So we have said that we have talked about like what are the benefits, like we can access data anytime, anywhere, and much more. So what do you think are the limitations when it comes to telemedicine?
Okay. So first thing is very much obvious that when there is a need to visit in person, that cannot be replaced. So that is one limitation. So again, there are scenarios where you have to be with the doctor or doctor has to be with the patient. So that cannot be replaced. So that's obviously one limitation. Another is like this is more dependent on the technology. Like for example, you should have internet connection. You should have some devices or mobile phone for the least, right? If those things are not available, that definitely cannot, like, then you cannot use it. So these are the limitations. So if these can be sorted, limitation can be solved, like. So apart from this, there is also there is also concern of data privacy, risk of data, patient data and all things. So that is one more, it's not a limitation, but it should be very much into the consideration, like, because you cannot like you cannot risk the data. So that kind of all the compliance must be there. If you're not able to achieve those things, you cannot use telemedicine, or you cannot create a telemedicine platform, right? So in some way, it could also be limitation if you're not able to compliant with all the necessary laws and regulations.
So are there any technology advancement that you see in telemedicine in coming years?
Definitely. In fact, it is happening already. Like again, it will grow only. So for example, like there is a AI, then there is a virtual reality, augmented reality are happening. Wearable devices are kind of expanding their limit. So these are helping. And again, you are able to get the data real time. So that can give you like realistic scenario in real time, that okay, what is happening at the other side. You can help in that way. Uh, and again, you can do the like again using the AI, plus the data access you have, then you can do the predictive analysis. So a lot of things happening, lot of advancement are happening, and it will improve this telemedicine thing only. Right?
So are there any regulatory hurdles or limitations in general that we need to address when it comes to telemedicine adoption?
Sure. So on the regulatory side, like on the law side, so again, obviously you have to be, you should have, first thing, you should have some standardization for telemedicine usage. that should be there. Already is there, but again there needs to be some improvement. And again there are like issues with the like licensing and reimbursement thing, right? Because if you talk about the US healthcare, so there are each state they can have their own set of laws, right? So that complexity, that that mix up that could be a hurdle for anyone. Like for example, if I'm in like say one city, and then you're connecting with a doctor who's available in other city. So that kind of like for there also you have to make sure about the data security is there, the patient whatever information is being shared, it is safe. So that could be one hurdle again, like because of different state rules and all those things. uh, Another limitation could be is about that, we already discussed that you should have access to all those technology and whatever you are looking for. And one more big challenge we have seen is like not everybody is open to it. Like for example, even the hospital, they want to integrate the EHR, right? For example, EHR or any technology, RP or anything. So they are not, it's not very easy to integrate because they have been running for like decades there, like their hospital and everything. So it cannot be done in a day one, or maybe even in a year. It may take time. So that adaptability is also there, that you have to adopt for all this thing. Okay, this is what we want to do it, right? So that is also kind of a challenge, but slowly with the like more education comes to
and
the
awareness,
in
yeah.
that particular thing, it can help, like it can grow there as well. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Arun, for this wonderful chat. I hope you will be back soon on Project Management Heroes. And yeah, that's it.
Surely I also enjoyed this. Again, I would definitely love to be in this place again. So thank you very much. Thank you.